Welcome to the Press Box with C. Will. I am your host, C. Will, and today we have a great show planned for you guys today. Today is also game day. Today is September the 9th, Saturday. The Hogs take on Kent State today in Razorback Stadium, and I will be in the place to watch the game, and I will have thorough recap when I do my recap show after the game sometime. But before we talk about the Hogs today, this show is dedicated to Travis Williams, Arkansas's newly hired defensive coordinator from UCF. So wanted to take a moment to kind of give him some shine so we can see exactly where he's come from and the potential of him to get the program back to where it needs to be. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this video started.
You know, it's always great to get a coach's perspective, and that's exactly what we're going to get right now with Coach Derek Mason, who now joins us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, former Vanderbilt head coach, Oklahoma State, Auburn, Stanford, DC. Coach, I know your schedule is busy with talking with Coach Pittman and everyone else getting ready for tomorrow's game, so we appreciate you making some time for us. I want to start with Travis Williams, Arkansas's defensive coordinator. What have you seen from him so far from watching film and just really – the last couple of years and what he's been on the defensive side of the football?
Well, first of all, looking at Travis Williams right now, I really like what he's done with his defense. It's been rebuilt, so to speak, with some actually through the transfer portal. They're a good football team. Their depth up front is strong. They've got great rotational depth. Their linebackers can run and hit. And in the secondary, they got guys that can cover. And anytime you bring in, guys out of the transfer portal, the biggest thing that you worry about is cohesiveness, communication. But when you watch the tape, I mean, these guys look like a veteran group that's played together. And I think that's always been part of, T. Will's sort of background. I mean, you go back, man, to him coming out of, South Carolina as a young kid and then making his way to Auburn, and then what they did at Auburn. He won a national championship there as a linebacker, and he played with good teams. And then as he got into the coaching ranks, I mean, doing it at Auburn and then getting a chance to go to UCF. I mean, what you've seen is just a maturation of like somebody who really knows how to put guys together. I mean, his defense at UCF was physical and athletic. Those defenses at Auburn and were fast,
very fast.
And so when you look physical. At this defense looks like a defense that's primed to take the next step. We'll see. Obviously, when you saw them last week, they sort of overpowered Western Carolina, and I think this week will be a simple test, for this group. But T. Will has done a tremendous job of getting these guys on the same page.
So, just want to listen to a little bit of that from Derek Mason. High praise. Derek Mason was the former coach for, I believe, 6 or 7 years at Vanderbilt. So this is a guy who's speaking with, a football mind, and I respect his opinion. And I believe now he's the host on SEC Network. Well, not the host, but an analyst, I should say. So definitely trust what he had to say. And he said a lot in a short amount of time, basically saying that, from his perspective, he admires the job that Coach Williams has done so far. So it's been a short amount of time, only one game, but for him to see that says a lot. So before we move to the next phase of this, I want to send a special shout out to KC Entertainment, as well as Health Gyms, for any nutritional guidance or education information, and also healthy culinary techniques. Make sure you hit their platform at www.healthgyms.com. healthgyms.com. So we're going to go with the facts. Travis Williams bio, he's from South Carolina. He was an all state player there. He moved on to Auburn and became an all SEC player. Then he eventually became an honorable mention All-American. So from an individual standpoint, I mean, the guy was a stud. So if you're coaching guys that have that same potential to be great, your influence tends to do more because you actually done it. And I think that, his impact on the players is huge because he actually has walked into their shoes. So me, when I was a player, whenever I had coaches that were successful doing it, I paid a little bit more attention. So in my opinion, I believe that he's great to coach up the guys and actually help them reach their full potential. And as a coach, he started in high school, coach a year, and he came back to Auburn as a grad assistant on the defensive side, linebackers coach, and it actually was on the staff that won a national title in 2010, I believe that was a year. So he's been around success. He knows what success looks like, and that's where we're trying to go. So his pedigree definitely, says that he's the guy. We just need to see more games to be sure of that. In 2017, when he became the head coach, he won the SEC West. I'm sorry, the defensive coordinator. When he became the full defensive coordinator at Auburn, because he was an analyst and he moved up the ranks, linebacker coach, and then became the head defensive coordinator. That's what I should have said. And his team won the West. His defense, helped the team win the West. He's known for having dominant defenses, top 10 defenses with those Auburn teams, fast and physical. So, again, we seen what he's done. And last year, when he was at UCF, the defense was stout. That's the reason why we came calling, because, he needs to be, on the big stage in the SEC again, because we know that he can handle that based on his Auburn days. So my thoughts about having him, I feel like the Hogs, our program, we should be very, very thankful that we have him. We're fortunate to have a guy of this magnitude to help with our defense, because our defense last year and for the last 3 years has been atrocious. I mean, not being able to stop the run, not being able to cover the pass. I mean, usually teams can do one or the other, if not both, but to not be able to do either one efficiently, you're not really going to have much success with just playing the game on offense. So we're definitely fortunate to have this guy. His track record speaks for itself. His ability to recruit and get good talent is evident, because we see this year, and this hasn't even been a full year since he's been hired, but through the portal, he's got a lot of good talent, a lot of strong, big, fast and physical guys that are tough. And I think they mirror his personality. And so far, even though it's game one, we'll see as the games move on, it appears that the transfer portal on the defensive side, as well as the offensive side, we may have hit this year, but only time will tell. But again, it's early. Last week was great. What they did to an undermanned team, it was impressive, but to the average person, it's not that impressive because we're supposed to do that. But just seeing how they look, looks are big, and they seem to look different. So, we'll keep an eye on the progress of Travis Williams, and as his impact, affects the defense. What I like about him is that his defensive philosophy is to rush 4 and drop 7 back. So you're leaving 7 guys back in coverage. So if a quarterback is dropping back and actually is getting pressure on him with 7 guys to try to find his receivers, he's going to have trouble. So going away from the 3-man front that we used to play last year with Coach Barry Odom. To me, going to the four-man look is everything. So being able to stop the run and getting pressure with 4 is a rare thing. And if you can do that, it's premium. So again, so far it looks good for us, and we'll have to see. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and make sure that you sign up so you can get all of the great content and the information as we put it out. I don't want you guys to have to wait a week to see something that is hot off the press. So go ahead and hit that like button so you can be subscribed to the press box, so you can definitely, be in the loop whenever we drop news. So until the next time, I'm C. Will. This is the press box, and make sure you subscribe.